I'm at the Dominion Chalmers United Church, and they're doing the roofing on the other side, so I came around so the debris, the shingles wouldn't come flying down while I'm doing the video and distract me. So this video is going to be about Jubilee, the biblical Jubilee, and I guess the legal in today's term because they still do it, but nonetheless it started as biblical Jubilee, so that's what it is, about biblical Jubilee. So I got my notes, which is always great. The Jubilee, biblically a Jubilee year, is commanded by God, which was forgiveness for all debts, freedom of slaves, returning of land to its rightful owners, original owners, for restoring relationships with God and with each other, and for creating a new beginning based on the grace of God. It comes from the Hebrew word yobel, or yubel, which means ram's horn, and the horn was blown on the atonement day, on the 10th day of the 7th month, the biblical 7th month, which month is called the Tishri, or Ethanim, and the Day of Atonement is called the Yom Kippur. In Gregory's calendar, which we are still operating under in this today's world, this Jubilee falls, the Day of Atonement falls between the end of September and October. So the Jubilee follows 7 cycles of sabbatical counts, which means counting its progression every 7th year for every 7 years, totaling 49 years. And the 50th year is the special Shabbat, meaning which goes on for 12 months, and the full year is dedicated to the acts of the Jubilee, the liberations and restorations and returns of freedoms. So that was the calculation in the old law days. There was no power outside these years of Jubilee to receive these things, so it was basically considered impossible. Life's predicaments were impossible unless the king or a queen granted you special rights, or by an act of God. The masses were kept ignorant of the word and the power of God, so they had to rely on that old world legal system. After Jesus, that power could be accessed only if you knew the power of Christ and the Word of God, which was preserved only for priests and the clergy and the kings and queens. It was kept ignorant of the commonwealth, general population. So the world media today loves to keep track of things like what happened this day X amount of years ago. Whatever, some celebrity's birthday or some stupid thing. So, which is really important to the media, so I guess it wouldn't be stupid, but it's very trivial to us. So since God is a God of now, and we are commanded to decree, to speak, to declare today all things that be not as though they are, every day since Jesus walked the earth. And he commanded, this is now technically a year of Jubilee. Every year is a year of Jubilee since Jesus. And what's better is every day there's a bonus of everything owed you and your family 50 years ago today. So 2 for the price of 1. But Jesus' price is kind of priceless. But anyways, most people are to this day following the no hope for 50 years system. You see this in the workforce and in retirement systems. They feel they work that long and slave that long until they're freedom 55 and can cash in on their nest eggs, and that there's no other way around that, and that's just the way life is. Woe is them. To make it worse, the British ruling body, no offense to the British ruling body, but they have some peculiar ways about them, I suppose, celebrates their king or queen's jubilee every 50 years. And this was instituted by God for the people. So the question, why would a ruler need to return the return of anything or freedom? Why would they need a jubilee? And even worse, why would they need it regardless of that considered once every 50 years? When for 2025 years, 2025 years, it's been changed to occurring new every morning with the Lord's justice, the Jubilee every day. Why would they still follow the old 50-year system if they're not confusing the masses? I'm not causing conspiracy, but I'm not. And just a question, to try to get any justice or any material or physical needs met under the law of today, the Mosaic law of today, which is still Moses' law, is to effort or to toil, which is all under the curse of the law, the old law. Anyways, we still have the Moses law of today, which can be argued they each instituted their own little jurisdiction of it and variation towards each country and whatnot, but it's all Mosaic law. Jesus redeemed us all worldwide from that curse of the law and all its punishments. So now, in order to get things in today's world systems, people who don't know God still persist in efforting, slaving, and suffering to get those things, or until they're free at retirement. They try in vain their whole lives and careers to get rid of all their legal troubles, material troubles, health troubles, physical, interpersonal, mental troubles they have. In their religious conditioned, if they're religious conditioned, they try to rebuke, cast out, or down, or drive out all these woes that they have for their entire life. They feel they have a sense of power. They're not using the true power because it's religious, which is a diluted version. It's not the full thing. It's like a knockoff compared to a real name brand. So the one thing that's been missing all these 25 years is knowledge, awareness, and speaking of the word to decree the word over situations in order to daily jubilate all their Abrahamic inheritance and rights. This goes for any of us. We have to daily decree and speak the word over our situations in order to daily jubilate our Abrahamic inheritance and rights. So instead, we must not effort, strive, or toil lifelong to get rid of external reflections or pressures, but we must receive the word. Now, in delineating this word, and in delineating any Jesus technology properly, it always gets murked just between the house of religious body language and between the other house of actually knowing these references for which types of actions for God's power abilities. Really mean. Here, to receive the word means several actions must occur in tandem to standing on the word verse. So, such as we must receive our own energy within, not project it out toward a mental image of what we want, because when we are believing for something and we're wanting, we're actually pushing that thing energetically farther away from us. We must receive that energy, like I already have it, I don't need it to come from the outside. Receiving is desiring, so we receive the kingdom word revelation first. Then once the desire fire spark is in us, we got to get that desire fire in us. We are set then for the second step of magnetizing that desire straightway to us. So first we need a desire. We can't just say something and then not desire it. We have to desire it because the desire is the magnetism. And this is explained because if we don't desire a thing, we won't receive it or care for it, and thereby lose the very magnetism for receiving it, which is the emotionality of desire, the emotion. Desire is an emotion. You have to have an emotion. You have to feel the end result in order to achieve it, because without feeling and emotion, you're basically an animal and you're dead to the world. We're sentient beings. So emotionality is magnetism, and it always has to go in tandem with standing on the word and desiring and believing. It's the embodiment. So by feeling the desire and end result emotion of a word verse that we're standing on, we can feel the manifestation now prior to having it. So people say, oh, religious people say, I'm standing on this word, but they fail to feel it. They think something's outside of them has to come to them. So they're waiting for a God outside of them to come save them, when the God is inside and needs to be just released, magnetically put into the world. So when Jonah was swallowed up by the sea tempest, prior to when Jonah was swallowed up, the ship crewmen threw all the cargo overboard to try to get rid of a life problem. So they were efforting. They were throwing over everything, the food, the cargo, everything that was there, even eventually Jonah. And with Peter, the church prayed for Peter fervently in prison, and the word put the jailers to sleep, or the problem to sleep, and Peter was delivered, and the problem was put to an end by Herod. So to use the word, instead of working your whole life to put a problem to rest, you can use the word in an instant, and it will put the problem to sleep, and it will even be taken out of this earth as if it were no more. Now, don't try to use it against people, but let God do what God does himself. In order to save a lifetime of efforting, toiling, suffering, laboring, the word can put problems to rest in an instant and release the heaviest Jubilee bondages and circumstances. Each morning, each day, not every 50 years or 49. So depending on how you want to incorporate Jubilee deliverance, such as some churches at New Year's declaring different prophetic year themes for the next whole year for their churches to walk out through the word, you can spend the rest of your life or a lifetime toiling, efforting, working the flesh to produce, provide, or prevent, or you can use faith, which is aka the word. Faith is the word. We walk by faith, not by sight. We walk by faith. This is how things move in the earth, through the word. So when you speak the word, that's taking a footstep. So you walk by faith by speaking the word and desiring that word already accomplished, and it walks for you and puts these giants to sleep. So in an instant, receive it, and the angel of the Lord goes to work for you and provides you your Abrahamic rightful stuff. That's the Jubilee message I have for today. And it's up to you to figure out how you want to use it, or if you want to spend a lifetime under the Mosaic covenant and get nothing in the meantime, or for your whole life, or choose God's way.